Hey, Pistons fans, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of the Pistons Daily podcast, episode number 91. I'm your host, Tony Nash, and I'm hoping that everybody had a great Thanksgiving day yesterday. Hopefully, you had some great time with friends and family, got to take a little bit of time off work, and hopefully, everybody had some really good food. We decided this year to forego the traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and we had a big Mexican feast. So a couple different types of tacos, enchiladas, tortilla soup, homemade guacamoles and salsas, and some desserts, and it was absolutely fantastic. Had a great time with the family. Hopefully you're recovering from that Detroit Lions loss. The Lions are not looking great. Had some good moments, but 2 days in a row experiencing a Detroit loss feels a little too familiar. Hopefully we don't get used to that. But we're not here to talk about the Detroit Lions today. We're here to talk about your Detroit Pistons, who have a crucial home game tonight against the Orlando Magic. It's an NBA Cup game, and it is a must-win if we want to win this NBA Cup, which I know our coach has stated and our players multiple times that is a goal for them this year to win that game. So tonight's game is a must-win. Remember, we're on the road to 2,500 subscribers, so if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do that right now. Hit that notification bell so that you can be notified right away when we drop new content for you every single day so that you are up to date with what's going on with the Detroit Pistons. So tonight we got a must-win game. We're back home playing against Orlando, and the winner will advance to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. Because of our loss Wednesday night to the Celtics, we have to win this game tonight. And so we hopefully will bring our A game. Hopefully we learn some things from the loss. It looks like we're going to have a relatively full roster. I saw that Jaden Ivey is listed as a game time decision, so not sure if he'll be dressing or not. Maybe they're just deciding to rest him a little bit because he's just getting back. We will see, but other than that, I don't see any injuries on the report. Orlando, however, does have no Paolo Banchero. He is on the injured list, so he will not be playing tomorrow night, as well as the lesser of the two Wagner brothers, both Michigan men, but Moritz Wagner will not be playing. Mo Wagner will not be playing tonight. And so the Pistons need to come out and play hard and get a big win tonight. Of course, last time we faced Orlando, we beat them 135-16, so we handled them quite well. And hopefully we do that again tonight. Hopefully we come out, don't mess around, and get it done early, and don't have any issues there. I'll tell you, Orlando is one of those teams that they can surprise you. And if we don't take them seriously, we're going to have a hard time. And they play very physical. And I might say they play a little dirty. I mean, if you remember the last game, we had a few questionable plays where those guys had some really hard fouls, standing over our guys. Remember Jalen Suggs talking some smack to Cade, and then Cade come down and got that great block against him that's got all of us up out of our seats. And so hopefully we will just match their physicality, play strong, play hard, and get a big win tonight. The Magic really are kind of having a disappointing season in terms of what was expected of them. They brought in Desmond Bane. Obviously, I know they've battled a little bit of injury, but no one's battled as much injury as Detroit in terms of teams that are up there, and we've still found a way to get wins. But they've been struggling, a little bit of a disappointing season. Their three-point shooting is probably on par with ours. Neither one of us are great three-point shooting teams, and they're just not getting wins right now. And so this is one we got to take advantage of, right? This is one we can't take lightly, and we got to come in, show out for the home crowd, get a big win. It is good. It's going to be good to be back in the D. I will be at the game tonight, so I hope to see some of you there. If you see me at the game, please stop and say hi. Let's talk a little Pistons. And if you are going to the game, let me know in the comments. Hopefully we'll see you there. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, the keys to the game. To me, I think the keys is going to have to come out early, get a nice comfortable lead, play physical. We're going to really have to establish our presence down low, play big. We're going to have to isolate Franz Wagner and Bane. Bane is a good player, and they have a couple other guys that we're going to have to worry about. But I think we're going to have to establish our physicality early up front, and hopefully we can get this win tonight. I don't know if you saw this. I posted something over on my TikTok channel over at Real Tony Nash. You can also find me on Instagram at Real Tony Nash. We talk Piston stuff over there as well. and a lot of times we post clips, but I don't know if you saw, but Reggie Miller was recently on the Dan Patrick Show. And Reggie is not one of my favorite commentators, especially his color commentary on during the games. But he had a lot of really great things to say about the Pistons. And he talked about the Pistons for a couple of minutes. And he says that the Pistons are, in his words, no question the best team in the East. He said there is no question that they are the team to beat. They are the best team right now, not as they develop, not if they bring more guys in, but he said the team as constructed right now is the best team in the East. It was nice to hear Reggie saying that. Obviously been around the game a lot, Hall of Famer, has had some epic battles with the Pistons. He said defensively they're bringing back the old bad boys. He mentioned Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer, and then he mentioned Rip and Chauncey, and of course he had to mention Tayshaun Prince. We all remember that wonderful moment where Tayshaun chased Reggie down all the way down the court, got that big block, which saved the series for us, and of course eventually led us to our championship there in 2004. So Reggie has some respect there for Detroit, and to compare this team to our 2004 team and even to our bad boys teams, it tells me that we're doing some things right. We're following the blueprint, as I've talked about over and over on this podcast. We're following that Pistons blueprint of that hard work, gritty, nasty, just physical play. And he said our defense, our identity is found in our defense, and a team that has an identity that's wrapped around defense is tough to beat. He also said that, like I said, he gave Tayshaun a shout out. Talked about the defensive identity, but he said that the biggest thing is we have a go-to guy, and that is Cade Cunningham. And he said Cade is right now one of the best in the NBA and is going to continue to get better, has a very high ceiling. He's that guy that's going to get things done for us. He also said that JD is right now already proved himself that he should be an all-star this year. And I know a lot of us fans, because we've had heartbreak so much, we're kind of apprehensively waiting to kind of just see. We're excited about our team and we believe big things, but we're also trying to be cautiously optimistic, understanding that we're young. We're going to go through adversity. We're going to have highs. We're going to have lows. We're going to have losses like we had Wednesday night. But, you know, Reggie has been around, and he says right now JD is playing like an all-star, that our team is the team to beat. He says there's no question the Pistons are, not might be, not could be, but they are the best team in the East. So do you agree with Reggie? I know if you're a Pistons fan, you probably do. Not a lot of times I've agreed with Reggie Miller in my life, but this is one of those times where I tend to agree with him. And I love to see that these national commentators are really paying attention to our Detroit Pistons. Actually, Brian Windhorst also said that the Pistons can this year, as constructed. Again, this is the key. We hear all these trade talks, all these things about who the Pistons should bring in, all these analysts and commentators trying to fix what's not broken, in my opinion. He says the Pistons can make the finals this year, not a year from now, 2 years from now. He said this team can make the NBA finals this year. Of course, we know the East is wide open. And so this is an opportunity for us to really capitalize. You heard Cade's interview. If you haven't, you need to go watch it, where he talked about his goal this season is an NBA Finals appearance, as well as winning an NBA championship. And so I love that our team is hungry now. We're not saying we're playing for the future. We're playing for right now. We are that championship team right now. And so I love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? I mean, is this our year? Do we have what it takes right now? I know some haters are like, no, the Pistons are too young. They're a great young squad, not enough experience. They don't have playoff experience. Things get different in the playoffs, which we know. And so don't think we're quite there. Certainly regular season is a part of it, but the game changes in the playoffs. So maybe our guys aren't tested yet. Last year's series against the Knicks certainly was a big learning experience for them. So what do you think? Is this our year? Are we a year away? Are we 2 years away? Are we a piece away? Do we need to bring in some veterans? What do we need? And again, as I've said over and over, I don't think we need to mess with anything right now, although we won't get into that just yet. I will end the episode talking about another ridiculous idea that is being floated out there. But before, I wanted to know, have you seen the Cade Cunningham CeraVe commercial? Our boy, Cade Cunningham, is now the face of CeraVe. And so I don't know if you've seen this or not. If you haven't, just Google Cade Cunningham CeraVe commercial. It's just, you ever hear that phrase, don't quit your day job? Love to see Cade getting these endorsements and getting these big deals. Love that he's the new face of CeraVe, but acting is just not his game. Maybe he just needs a little more experience. It was tough to watch. It was not Cade's finest moment, in my opinion. Of course, we can laugh at him all the way to the bank. He got paid, so respect there. But, they had Cade mocking a jump shot, and then he brings up his CeraVe, and then he's doing curls with the CeraVe, both hands, and the guy's over there counting about all the different ingredients are in it. And it was tough. It was not the greatest writing. As a branding guy, whoever wrote the commercial did not understand the actor, did not understand Cade. We've produced a ton of TV commercials with our business. That's kind of what we do. Man, CeraVe could have done a better job. You got a guy like Cade, who's maybe not a super outgoing, dynamic personality, maybe finding something that fit him a little bit better. Not the best, in my opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. What were your thoughts about Cade's CeraVe commercial? Did you think it was great and that he should, get an Oscar for his performance there? Or did you think that was a little rough to watch for our guy Cade? But hey, happy to see him getting that paper, right? Getting those paychecks and getting those endorsements. Love seeing him out there doing that. Yeah, don't quit your day job, Cade. I don't know if acting is in your future. And then, of course, as I've said over and over, man, I hate all these trade rumors that are going around. I hate, people just, again, as I said earlier, trying to fix what really isn't broken. I mean, this is a work in progress, right? This is an experiment of a group of young guys that were drafted well and brought in, a new coach, a new front office, an owner that's committed to success. And we're starting to see the fruits of that labor, and it's working and it's coming together. And as I'm going to say this over and over and over, until I hear a trade that just makes so much sense that I'm willing to say, okay, maybe, I'm just going to keep saying, I don't think the Pistons should be considering a trade right now. Brian Windhorst also reported that Tom Gores, has an appetite for making a big blockbuster move if the front office, Trajan Langdon and them boys, are willing to do it. And so Gores, he's willing to invest the money. I love that he's behind the team. And I hope that Trajan and the front office and the architects of this team, the coaching staff, can all recognize, like, hey, we're in a good spot. Let's continue to play. Again, I understand none of these trades are going to happen now. I know this is just talk, but these are things that are coming in from legitimate sources, that these are talks that are actually being had behind the scenes and leading up to, as we hit that trade deadline. And really, about 7-8 weeks is all it is from now. It'll be about 10 to 12 weeks from now when that trade deadline will hit. And so it's going to fly. It's going to come here quick, and I know they're talking about it. But a lot of insiders and NBA analysts are looking for ways. So I'm going to read this quote, or this article that was from CBS Sports. It says, many insiders and analysts are looking for ways for the Detroit Pistons to improve the roster. Again, just had a 13-game winning streak, sitting at the top of the East, and they're talking about how can they improve the roster. It says guys like Lauri Markkanen and Zach LaVine are too expensive for the Pistons. They're asking for more than the Pistons are willing to give up. But for ESPN insider Tim Bontemps, he floated the idea of Dallas Mavericks star Kyrie Irving as the ideal running mate for Cade Cunningham in the Motor City. He says, I quote, I would almost say ironically, I know he's hurt right now, but I think the guy on the Mavs that if he became available, I think would be a way better fit for the Pistons. I think the guy that would be a way better fit for the Pistons if they would be Kyrie Irving and put him next to Cade Cunningham. Bontemps said on the Hoops Collective podcast, he said, I think that's the weakness that I think they have to address. They need to get a guy to go with Cade. So it's not at all on Cade to try to do it in the playoffs against big-time opponents. So in other words, he's saying Cade needs another guy so that everything doesn't fall on his shoulders. and Kyrie is that perfect guy. And so you can only imagine who we'd have to give up for Kyrie. He's not even, there's no timeline on when he's going to come back. And so to me, again, why are we talking about this? This is a guy who we don't know when he does come back if he's going to be the same player. Obviously, Kyrie, one of the all-time great ball handlers, great clutch performer, has an NBA championship, has played with some of the best players in the history of the game. A lot of fun to watch, marquee player. No question of his greatness. But does he come in and fit what Detroit is? A hard-nosed, physical, defensive team that plays ball the right way, plays together. Does that sound like Kyrie Irving? And again, this idea that a team has to have these big-name superstars instead of creating these big-name superstars, that's what all these NBA analysts and insiders do. They just surmise and they kind of talk about all these things. And sometimes I wonder, do these guys even watch the games? These guys who are doing this, maybe they're seeing the Pistons record and on paper it doesn't make any sense to them. And so instead of watching the games and seeing the chemistry that's there and seeing what the team is building and seeing what the team is doing already, they start saying, oh, that's never going to work. We got to bring in this guy or that guy and bring in Kyrie Irving. So, again, I'm not going to get into what pieces because there's no one talking about what that would require, but I still think we got to give Jaden Ivey time. I think he was on track last season to be something great, and they just released his special last night, by the way. I haven't got a chance to see it. There's a little 30-minute little film they did for him, so I want to go watch that today. Hopefully I'll get to before the game. But anyways, you got to let these guys develop. What do you think? Maybe some of you are Kyrie fans out there, and you'd love to see number 11. Of course, he can't be number 11 in Detroit, right? But you'd love to see Kyrie Irving in a Pistons jersey. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it fits. Doesn't make sense to me. Love to hear your opinions. So that's all I got for today, guys. Tonight, we got the Orlando Magic. Are we going to do it? What are your keys to the game? Let me know in the comments. If you're going to the game, let me know. Maybe I'll see some of you there. What do you think about Reggie's comments about Detroit? Good to see again the national media just giving the Pistons some love. Tell me what your thoughts about that Cade commercial. Again, go watch it. Maybe I'll link it in the comments so you guys can see it. It's a tough watch, but again, Cade got paid, so good for him. And then, is Kyrie Irving a Piston? Like, does he fit this mold? Is he a guy that we would want to see here in Detroit? I think not myself. So, thank you for watching today, guys. Let's have a happy Friday. If you're doing some Black Friday shopping, enjoy it. Be safe out there. Go Pistons tonight. Let's have a big game. Let me know if I'm going to see you there. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that we can get you the best content every day. And as always, Detroit basketball.